is the plant manager of Kia Motors, and she wants to determine the product mix that will result in maximum profit. She is able to determine the data necessary for her to make a decision. It will take 8 minutes to weld 1 unit of Optima and 20 minutes to weld 1 unit of Sorrento, and she wants to use up at least 160 minutes of the subcontracted welding process per day. It will take 14 minutes to assemble 1 unit of Optima and 16 minutes to assemble 1 unit of Sorrento, and she has to use up at least 224 minutes of the subcontracted assembly process per day. It will take 18 minutes to paint 1 unit of Optima and 10 minutes to paint 1 unit of Sorrento, and she has to use up at least 180 minutes of the subcontracted painting process per day. They will earn $6,000 for every unit of Optima produced and $7,000 for every unit of Sorrento produced. How many units of Optima and Sorrento should be produced per day to maximize profits? How much is the total profit?
So, welcome to you. And I want to greet you before we start. I want to greet you good day. And hope everything is well with you and you are all right. And sige. So, welcome sa ating linear programming topic, special cases models. And for this presentation, we will be having our unboundedness na topic. No, so before tayo mag-proceed, recap muna tayo sa ating mga linear programming special cases. Pinakauna, we have alternate optimal solution. At pangalawa, we have yung sa Toyota natin, no? Ang topic nun is redundancy. Yung pangatlo, we have the infeasibility, yung sa Nissan na company. And ngayon, ito yung ating pang-apat na special cases model na topic under LP. And this is unboundedness. For this problem and for this topic, we will be having the Kia Motors as our example. So, unboundedness, this is the case where the objective function is unbounded from the term itself. Unbounded yung objective function. There is no limit to the total profit that the company will realize. Thus, there is no solution to the problem. And for you to be able to totally grasp the idea of unboundedness, let's have our example. No, the Kia Motors problem. So, 2 unit products na ipoproduce natin ngayon is Sorrento and Optima. Sige, let's start. Patricia is the plant manager of Kia Motors and she wants to determine the product mix that will result in maximum profit. She is able to determine the data necessary for her to make a decision. It will take 8 minutes to weld 1 unit of Optima and 20 minutes to weld 1 unit of Sorrento. And she wants to use up at least, take note sa term, at least 160 minutes of the subcontracted welding process per day. Guguhitan ko lang ha. Sabi dito, at least 160 minutes. It will take 14 minutes to assemble 1 unit of Optima and 16 minutes to assemble 1 unit of Sorrento. And she has to use up at least na naman. At least 224 minutes of the subcontracted assembly process per day. It will take 18 minutes to paint 1 unit of Optima and 10 minutes to paint 1 unit of Sorrento. And she has to use up at least 180 minutes of the subcontracted painting process per day. They will earn 6,000 for every unit of Optima produced and 7,000 for every unit of Sorrento produced. Now, the question is, how many units of Optima and Sorrento should be produced per day to maximize the profits? Ayan na, alam kong nakikita nyo na yung pwedeng mangyari sa graph natin. To maximize profits and how much is the total profit. No? So, mukhang nagkakaroon na tayo ng idea. Ano kaya yung magiging itsura ng graph? No? And, sige, let's start the computation. Tulad ng mga iba na mga problems natin, I have here the table ng ating mga given. No? So, same constraint, we have welding, assembly, and painting, first, second, and third constraint. So, minutes per day is 160, 224, 180. So, eto, kung papansinin nyo po, yung mga sign is a sign of greater than or equal. Hindi ba ginagamit lang natin to kapag minimization? Yes. No? Kaya po nagkaganyan dahil kung babalikan nyo yung problem. Our problem ay sinasabi niya at least 160, pinakamalit 160, dapat pataas ka. 224 at least, no, pinakamalit 224, dapat mas mataas or equals to 224. At least 180, no, kung hindi 180, dapat mas mataas. Yun yung sinasabi ng mga constraint. No, kaya ang ginagamit po natin is 1 is greater than or equal. Kung ano man yung magiging value na makukuha nyo ng combination na to, kung ano man yung x sub 1 and x sub 2, dapat pag tinotal natin yan, lahat yan mas mataas compare dito. Ito dapat mas mababa. No, ayun yung sinasabi ng sign natin, kaya nagkaganyan. Pero, ang goal natin is to max. No? Maximization. Sige, ituloy natin ang problem. So, for the solution, tulad ng mga ibang ginagawa natin na way of computation, no, lagi nating unang nilalagay kung ano man ang ating objective function. By the way, yung profit natin kanina no, sa table, ito balik natin. 6 and 7, naka $1,000 din siya. Tulad ng mga naunang problems. So, we have objective function, pinaka-ut yan, is to maximize ang profit daw. Check natin kung kaya ba tong maximization na sinasabi niya. 6x sub 1 plus 7x sub 2. And these objective functions is subject to constraint na for welding, ito yung una natin, no? Constraint number 1 for welding. Sabi niya, 8x sub 1. Ang x sub 1 natin, guys, is optima and yung solento is the x sub 2. So, x sub 1, optima, plus 20x sub 2 is greater than or equals to 160. Yan. Pangalawa, no? Sa assembly process, 14 na x sub 1 plus 16 x sub 2 greater than or equals to 224. And for the third, we have 18 x sub 1 plus 10 x sub 2 is greater than or equals to 180. And for the last and final constraint, ang values daw ng x sub 1 and x sub 2 natin should be greater than or equals 0. This is not plus. And yan, and equals to. Alright, so sige, let's start, no? Constraint 1 muna tayo. Gamit tayo ng yellow na ink. Tulad sa mga ginagawa nating technique dati para mas malinaw sa inyo at hindi kayo malito. So, C1, copy 8x sub 1. This is 8. Ayan, x sub 1. Plus 20, x sub 2. Gawin natin tong inequality. 160. So, let x sub 1 equal 0. And kapag ginawa natin siyang 0, of course, cancel yan. Plus 20, x sub 2 equals 160 divided by 20, parehong side. And that will give us a value of 160 divided by 20, that is 8. Now, meaning, if our x sub 1 is 0, our x sub 2 will be 8. And now, let's have our x sub 2 as 0 naman. Let x sub 2 equal 0. So, 8x sub 1 plus 20 multiplied to 0 equals 160. Of course, cancel yan. And divide natin both sides into 8 para maiwan sa kabila ang x sub 1. No? 160 divided by 8, this is 20. Yan. Therefore, if ang x sub 2 natin is 0, our x sub 1 will be 20. And yan, nakadalawang point na tayo for C1. Pwede na tayong gumawa ng graph or ng line for our first constraint. Pero before natin gawin yon, proceed muna tayo sa ating constraint number 2. So, copy ng equation for constraint number 2 plus 16x sub 2 hindi na greater than. Gamitin natin siyang equality. So, equals 224. Let x sub 1 equals 0. So, 14 multiplied to 0 plus 16 x sub 2 equals 224. Cancel ito. And mangyayari, divide natin both sides sa 16 para maiwan yung x sub 2, which is our goal na mahanap yung value niya. 224 divided by 16, this is equals to 14. Meaning to say, if our x sub 1 is 0, our x sub 2 will be 14. No, I hope you get it. And sige, gawin naman natin na yung x sub 2 naman ang ilet natin as 0. Let x sub 2 equal 0. So, 14 x sub 1 plus 16 x sub 2, or gawin na natin siyang 0. So, yan. In color 0. Diretso na natin, no? 16 multiplied to 0 equals 224. So, this will be cancelled. 14, divide natin para maiwan si x sub 1. Of course, kabila din, dapat magde-divide ka. Basic rule yan ng algebra, no? Once na nag-divide ka sa kabilang side, kung naka-equality siya, dapat sa kabila din may i-divide ka. And same value dapat. No? So, 224 divided by 14, this will give us a value of 16. Therefore, kapag daw ang x sub 2 mo is 0, ang value ng x sub 1 mo is 16. Yan, okay na. Okay na tayo for constraint 2. Let's now solve for the points ng ating constraint 3. Gamit tayo ng orange for constraint 3. So, C3, ang equation natin ng C3 is 18 x sub 1 plus 10 x sub 2 equals 180. Yan. So, let x sub 1 ulit tayo equal 0. So, 18 times 0 plus 10 x sub 2 equals 180. Cancel ito. Divide both sides sa ating 10. No, x sub 2 is 180 divided by 10, of course, 18. Therefore, if ang ating x sub 1 is 0, ang ating daw x sub 2 value is 18. Okay, so x sub 2 naman, ang gawin nating 0 ngayon. So, 18 x sub 1 plus 10 times 0 as x sub 2 natin, sabi natin 0 siya, equals 180. So, basically, this will be cancelled. And, divide natin both sides sa 18. So, cancel yan. Ito rin ay 18. X sub 1 equals 180 divided by 18. This is 10. Meaning to say, if ang x sub 2 natin is 0, ang x sub 1 natin will be 10. Yan, okay na. Now, pag samasamahin natin lahat ng ating mga points para madaling makita, sama-sama sila. So, C3, we have 0 and 18. Tapos, ito, 10 and 0. Ito ay sa C2, no? Lagay na natin agad. So, 16 and 0. Balikan natin. C1, 0, 8, 20, 0. We have 0, 8, 20, 0. Tapos, yung una ng C2 ay, ito, 0 and 14. Ayan na ang ating mga points. Ang highest number is 20. So, let's have now our graph. No? So, 20. Ayan. O, diba? Namamaster ko na talaga yung pagguhit eh. Ayan. And 0. By 2s tayo. 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 12, 14, 16, 18, 20. Angat pa natin. Baka na. Yan. Pwede na yan. 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 12, 14, 16, 18, 20. 22. And horizontal naman, ito ay x sub 2, no? So, x sub 1. Ayan. So, 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 12, 14, 16, 18, 20, 22. Labels. Laging huwag kakalimutan maglagay ng labels. Yan, dapat may label ha. Bawal wala. Yan. Sige. So, first line tayo. For constraint 1, yellow ang gamit natin, no? Gamit tayo yellow. Constraint 1, 0, 8, 20, and 0. Sige, let's have the line. 0, 8, 20, and 0. Ito. And connect. Yan. Now, check. Ano yung sign na gamit niya? Greater than or equals to 160. Ibig sabihin, kung greater than or equal, palabas ka ngayon. No, naalala? Palabas ka pag ganyan. Yan. Kahit saan umabot kasi walang limit yan eh. Palagpasin natin ng screen, gusto nyo? Yan. Joke lang. Ganyan siya, ano? Walang limit yan. Sa labas yan eh. Yan. Lagyan natin. Yan. Mali ito ha. Ito mali yan. Dapat wala yan. O diba? Tinahi. Hindi, joke lang. So, yan. C2, 0, 14, and 16, 0. Ang gamit natin dyan is blue. 0, 14. Ito yun. 0, 14. And, ano nga ulit? Malimutan ko kaagad. 16, 0. 0, 14, 16, 0. Ito siya. Now, connect na natin. And kung papansin ninyo, ang sign din natin dito is greater than or equals. Ibig kong sabihin, yung linya ng C2, hindi pa natin nalagyan ng label, no? Sabi ko kanina, dapat may label eh. Ito dapat yellow. Yan. Nakakalimutan ko yung label. Yan. C1. Okay na. Yan. Kung ganun ang ating sign for C2, ibig sabihin, pareho sila ng C1. No, na ang region, shaded region, ay nasa labas. No, ayan, pag ganyan siya. Wala yung limit hanggang sa dulo ng screen. Yan, ito, sakop yan na yan. Sakop yung area na yan. Ayan. Ang hindi lang siya pwede, pumunta ito dito sa area na to kasi sa C1 lang yan. No, I hope na makuha nyo. And that is color orange for our C3. 0, 18, and 10, 0. So, let's have the point. 0, 18. Ito yung 0, 18. And second point niya, 10 and 0. So, ito yung 10 and 0. Connect. Yan. And balikan natin yung sign na sabi dito, sa third constraint, greater than or equals to 0. And, ibig sabihin, palabas din. Pareho ng C2 and C1. No, ang hindi lang siya pwedeng umabot dito sa area na to. Kasi this is the area for C1. And this is the area for C2 and C1. Itong part na to maliit. No, ang pwede lang si C3, lagyan mo natin ng label. Baka makalimutan ko yung label. Yan. Pangarap ng mga babae yan. May label. Joke lang. So, yan. Yan. Dito siya. Hindi siya pwedeng lumagpas ng guhit niya. Yan. Ayan. Sa blue pwede. No? Pwede siya lumagpas ng blue eh. Kasi hanggang orange siya. Same din sa yellow. Ayan. So, may area na napupuntahan niya na hindi pwedeng puntahan ng yellow and blue. So, yan. Okay, I hope everything is clear. Ayan yung itsura ng ating graph. No, dagdagan natin yung sa yung sa blue and yellow para ma-emphasize yung limit ng kanilang mga shaded area. Dagdagan natin ito. Ito sa blue lang yan. Sa blue. Hanggang dito sa blue yan. Now, for the yellow, dagdagan din natin para ma-emphasize. Ang sakop ng yellow ay ito. Pati ito, part ng yellow yan. Kasi hanggang dito siya eh. Hanggang dito siya, oh. Yan, hanggang dito. Yan. Ganyan. No, so, ayan po ang ating itsura ng graph. Now, kung babalikan nyo, ang next na step natin lagi is to determine the corner points. No? And sabi natin, to be able for us to determine the corner points, or the feasible region rather, no? Ito ay yung part na kung saan nag-adhere silang tatlo. Pare-pareho sila na na-shadean nila yung part na yon. And kung papansinin natin, nasaan yung part na yon, gamit tayo ng ibang color, gawin natin red. Ang part na yon is ito. No, galing dito, papunta dyan, papunta dito. Unang ito yung unang corner. Ito yung pangalawa. Ito yung pangatlo. Ito naman yung last, yung pang-apat. Tapos pag ganyan na. Tapos lahat na yan. No? Buong ito na, part na yan. Yan. Lahat na yan is feasible region. Pero, ito na tayo nagkakatalo. Yan, feasible region na yan. Di ba, para na akong bata dito, color. Yan, feasible region. Pero, tama ba yan? Balikan natin ngayon yung objective function. No? Sabi ng objective function natin. Anyway, tama naman tayo sa fourth constraint, no? Greater than or equals to 0 dahil yung graph natin is nasa quadrant 1 naman ng Cartesian plane, no? Positive. So, tama siya. Ang gusto ko ipunto, yung objective function po natin. 6x plus 1 plus 7x, 6x sub 1 plus 7x sub 2. Dapat daw yan ma-maximize. Kung babalikan niyo yung pinakaunang topic natin na linear programming maximization, hindi ba dapat ang goal natin or ang shaded region natin kapag maximization ay nandito? Di ba ito yun? Ibig pong sabihin, ito na tayo sa conclusion, no? Ibig sabihin, yung problem natin, or rather yung goal natin, is hindi siya akma sa sinasabi ng constraints natin. No? While there is a corner points determined by the line, na-determine natin, merong corner points eh. Notice that the arrows are pointing to an unbounded region. Papunta kasi sila sa labas. No, papunta doon. I hope nakikita niyo yung guhit. Papunta doon. Papunta sa labas. And since this is a maximization problem based sa ating objective function, this is a maximization problem, and the objective function is unbounded to positive infinity, wala pang katapusan, no? Palabas siya eh. Positive infinity, there is no solution to the problem. Malinaw po. Ibig sabihin, balikan natin yung topic, no? Ang topic natin is linear programming ng special cases. And kapag ganon, no, yung shaded area na pinapakita ng ating constraint is iba sa gustong mangyari ng ating objective function. Hindi sila nagkakasundo. That is considered as unbounded. No? So, unbounded yan. Or, yung case na yan ay tinatawag na unboundedness. Ibig pong sabihin, wala tayong solution. Parang sa infeasibility. No? So, no solution. And that ends up the presentation, that ends up our discussion regarding this topic, linear programming, special cases, the unboundedness. I hope I make everything clear, no? I hope I made the solution well detailed, easily understandable, no? Na-explain ko naman siya in very step-by-step manner. And I hope you are now enjoying operations research management science na subject. No? So, I hope you learned something from this video. See you on the next discussion and keep safe always. Bye-bye.